Just in, Daniel Penny says he has zero regrets. Says he couldn't live with the guilt if someone was hurt on the subway by Jordan Neely. Penny is an even better person than he thought. And let's hear it directly from his words.
I mean, I'm not a confrontational person.
That is what it is. I don't know if it's my sound. I have to...
I don't really extend myself. I think this type of thing is very uncomfortable. All this attention and limelight is very uncomfortable. And I would prefer without it. I didn't want any type of attention or praise, and I still don't. Mm-hmm. The guilt I would have felt if someone did get hurt, if he did do what he was threatening to do, would never be able to live with myself.
Good.
And
a couple things.
I'll take him.
I'm going to pause this. A couple of things that I see from Daniel is that he really doesn't like the attention. He wishes he could just move on with his life and not have any. It's tough luck, because we know that how humanity works. We would like to know what he's up to. He would have to, literally disappear from everywhere, so we don't know what he's doing. And maybe he's entitled. Everyone is entitled to that privacy, of course. And he looks like somebody who, at the time before the event happened, he didn't want to attract any sort of attention. This got out of control, because this racist, I don't know how to say that, those who shake the tree. It's like somebody who is trying, this race baiters, okay? Because you know that the women who were being harassed were black, and there were two black men trying to help him submit Jordan Neely. So this was pure race baiting. All this was a travesty, and I'm sure that he was, the kind of man that doesn't speak that much, that keeps things to himself, that detests any kind of attention. And he got, I think the attention was enough punishment, undeserved punishment, of course, that he doesn't want. And the way he talks and his voice tone, there's some sort of analysis in which that the way a person talks, you can tell a lot about their personality. If a person is loud, or they talk slowly, or how is their tone of voice in certain topics, you can tell a lot of how excited or reserved is a person, and you can tell from that voice tone, the way he talks.
I'm not a confrontational person. I don't really extend myself. I think this type of thing is very uncomfortable.
It's like you are not confrontational. Maybe you have the capacity. This is the thing, the big difference that we men should aspire to. We were born to protect. We were born to protect our women and children. It's that simple. That is our mission. That is the most important thing. So it's important that we become for me, this is the best way to describe it, dangerous gentleman. We need to develop the capacity for violence. That was in my conversation with Ed Latimore in one of my first conversation, my first interview on this channel. We need to develop the capacity for violence and aggression. Practice it. Be able to be aggressive and violent, and at the same time be able to control it the way he held that chokehold without killing Jordan Neely. Because Daniel Penny did not kill Jordan Neely. He was alive by the time the cops came, and the cops didn't want to touch Jordan Neely because he was so dirty. And what he was going through was because of a drug overdose. So we need to be dangerous. We need to develop the capacity for violence. And at the same time, we need to use it to protect women and children. It's that simple. If a man doesn't have the capacity for violence, he's not a pacifist. No, he's just harmless. I think it was Jordan Peterson that he he said that way. Okay, a man doesn't have the capacity for violence. Oh no, I don't like violence. Violence is never the answer. I have a recurring joke about that. No, violence is never the answer. Violence is the question, and the answer is yes. But sometimes, it's a joke, and that's the thing. How do you use that violence in the right measure at the moment that has to be used? Because if you don't use it, if we men do not make a stand and make use of that violence to defend other people who are vulnerable, then society will truly collapse. And this was a win. I said that this was a win for men everywhere, but this is in fact a win for both men and women, for everybody. Because that is what we need. We need more. We could say that he is a hero because he not only withstood, he did the right thing, but he withstood this travesty of a trial that should have never happened in the first place. It was just race baiting. They wanted to judge him just because he is white. It's that simple. That should have never happened. But what should always happen is that men should use violence to protect vulnerable people, women and children. It's that simple. And maybe he has the build. And he has, he is Irish, I understood. He has the build for a lot more violence of what he did and a lot more aggression of what he did. But he had the ability to just exert the right amount of aggression. But he doesn't like to unleash that unless it's needed. That is the essence of a dangerous gentleman. That's what I see in him. And of course, a gentleman doesn't do it for attention. Oh, I'm going to defend these people because I want, to pose for the pictures and all this stuff. No, he does it because it's the right thing to do. It's the calling. And as he says, if we don't do it, we will have higher regrets. If it happens again, he will be more than willing to act the same way.
All this attention and limelight is very uncomfortable, and I would prefer without it. I didn't want any type of.
You see that in his body language. He keeps his feet planted on the ground. His legs are wide open, but he is keeping his hands together. Very few hand gestures. It's like he's trying to stay in the same place, unmoving. Like literally. I don't like the attention. I don't want to draw attention to myself. I'm just going to stay like here. I need to talk because people want to know my side of the story. And after all that has happened, and after all the people who defended, he could say, many people defended me online, I owe them this interview. And I maybe he wants to set the record straight and give this to all the people, including our wonderful community who supported him through this ordeal.
Of attention or praise. And I still don't. Mm-hmm. The guilt I would have felt if someone did get hurt, if he did do what he was threatening to do, would never be able to live with myself. And I'll take 1 million court appearances and people calling me names and people hating me just to keep one of those people from getting hurt or killed.
Yeah, many people would say, oh, he's acting, he's doing this because he loves the spotlight right now. I don't think that he likes this. He just did this because I'm sure that his attorney said, hey, you know what? So many people out there were people calling your names. There were people wanting your head on a stake. But were also millions of people vouching for you, wanting that there was justice, actual justice served, in the sense that this should have never happened, and maybe you should give this to them. Maybe you don't like it, but this is something that you can show to the world. You have no regrets that you would have done this all the time, all the times that might be needed to do this over and over again. And I haven't seen the whole interview, but I'm sure that at some point he thanked all the people who were behind him and supported him. Yeah, he is a unsung, well, not unsung. We know him very well. He was a hero, and a hero in the sense that he not only did something that must be done, it's the right thing to do. And of course, any person, any man has the option to not do anything. Any man could say, hey, you know what? I am not getting involved. I am not doing this. There are countless videos. There are countless videos on the internet. I don't want to describe the nature of those videos, but men who stand for what they think is right, and they get fatally stabbed or shot, and it is not nice to see. I was talking with Ed about that, and Ed has a way of saying that you never know. You have to be careful at the same time, because you never know who is not afraid of going to jail. Now, so that is the risks that you're taking. But at the same time, as I'm telling you, if we have a society in which men don't recognize this drive, because it's not something that oh, I feel forced to do this, I have to do that, I have to do this because it's the right thing. Oh yeah, Jesus said in that video. Oh yeah, Daniel Penny acted that. No. It's something that must spark from you. It's something that, an energy that is so obscenely powerful that it's like you don't think, you just act. It's something that should just spark from you. Of course, there's always self-preservation. Of course, there's a circumstance. Now we're talking about families and people with families. If a father must protect his family first and foremost. If someone is a father and sees that other people are under risk, first and foremost, he has to make sure that his family is okay. Okay, I think that is the logical thing to do. We don't want fathers risking their lives and even losing their lives trying to help other people, and then they get fatally stabbed or shot, and then their family ends up without a father. Another complex topic. This is never a black and white topic. This is never easy to talk about this, but we need to address this this kind of topics. And in terms of regrets, we will be talking about more regrets shortly. Someone with actual regrets, you already know who has regrets. Oh, by the way, I have mentioned